I just wanted to, uh, because this is fresh. Okay, I'm not no contact. Um, I just wanted to give an example of a way that a covert narcissist, possibly sociopath, definitely diagnosed as borderline, person operates. So I've been divorced for, well, let's just say 2 years, even though the finalization of it took a little bit longer. And there is some contact. It's always text. Okay, so that's the flavor, one of the flavors. And just to recap that, when they list the traits of these people, it could actually even be the opposite trait of what they list. And the traits don't have to be all the traits, it could just be one, right? So the way this personal situation, which is my personal, uh, wrestling with evil, wrestling with the devil, my personal flavor made just for me, because that's how it goes. Your personal wars and battles are made just for you. So when you deal with these people, they know exactly what to do and how you work, because as you've probably listened to so many other people, if you're watching this at this point, um, they groom you by assessing and mirroring. And watch my other videos where I talk about there's two different types of mirroring, which a lot of therapists don't really differentiate between the two, because there's a healthy mirroring that happens with when teaching children, and then the mirroring as there's and then there's two types of mirroring. One that's the healthy one from childhood into adulthood, where it develops into act like an active listening. And then there's the faking of the mirroring, like the person is just as excited uh, as you over something that you're excited about, and their false self is presenting that similar excitement over this particular uh, thing or circumstance. And the idea is that they are truly excited about that thing or circumstance. Like if you really like, tulips, then they're just as excited about tulips, when in reality, they don't give two shits about tulips. However, what they do care about is that excitement, because it's a very externally based adaptation. Then they get that energy, the energy sucking the parasite off of your excitement, because they don't have it internally. So that's what they do um, enjoy. And I shouldn't even use the words enjoy or love for these situations. They get a high off of it, because joy and love is not and does not have anything to do with this type of pathology at all. And I urge you to watch my What is Love videos that I made, so that you know exactly how to discern, the way I've had to learn how to discern my own hard way, learning the hard way, the whole thing. So this specific instance is, he sent me a forward from Instagram of these two tiny little girls. They must have just been like 2 or 3 years old, in some third world country, with large amounts of twigs that they were carrying on their back. Like it looked like they were at least 3 foot wide, and like the size of these children. And it was literally child labor. And it looked horrible. And he wrote along with it, oh, it reminds me of when you were little, and you made all those. I made this, being pushed by my narcissistic parents to create and be creative and make money at a young age. I wasn't as young as these little girls in this forward. I must have been like 10, but I was working when I was way too young, and looking at work as a means of getting money. Okay, and no child should have to contend with that. Okay, so I did experience that as a child, and that developed into other, you know, that was just one of, but it's something that should not have happened, where this work, quote unquote, work ethic is imposed on children. Now, this video is much worse. This was a third world country, but the fact that he said it reminds me of you working so hard when you were a kid, selling your little whatever it was, the art crafty things that I had made a zillion of to try to sell at a craft show and craft fair, and um, and I wrote back and I said, this is wrong on so many levels, um, and child labor. And then I was thinking about it. I don't mean to laugh, but now that I have my head on straight, I'm no longer attached to this person. I physically withdrawn from them. I went through the physical withdrawal because I was in the trauma bond. I realized that this is a method. This is one of the grooming methods where they appear to have feelings and sympathy for these impoverished, you know, little girls, unfortunate, and where there's great misfortune, and the feeling that of feeling bad, okay, for these, it goes along with the feeling of feeling bad, feeling guilty, and then it's attached to that. The person who sent it to me is as if they were having those feelings and trying and working to form a connection with me, that type of connection, to garner the sympathy and to garner the idea that they have emotion, that they are empathetic, by sending me this. Okay, that's how it works. And it worked on me for decades, 2 decades of my life. Okay. This false sense of sentimentality, empathy. And I realized, I said, you know what? Don't send me this bullshit anymore. Okay. And, he got rid of the post, so all you see is my response. He got rid of that Instagram message, so all you see is my response. He got rid of the video from, I guess you could erase things. And I realized that this is a manner in which to create a false sense of, hey, I have these feelings about this. But in reality, when a person has these feelings, they are proactive and they do something about the situation of these children. Okay. This is a person in my life who caused me so much misery, so much pain. I was crying every day for 25 years. Yet he's trying to show me with um, fo- this forward, that he has maybe these feelings. It's a very external. So it's like, that's where the trick is. People that are still trapped in these relationships is that they will play. This is the playing on that emotional realm, the emotional side. And when I think about it, I thought about, my God, I was such a wreck when I was with this person and doing my best to function as a human with a job, and, not seeming totally like out there and crazy. I mean, you could look at my early videos when I was still with him. The way I came across, okay? I mean, there's my personality. I'm always passionate the way I am, but then there's like this extra edge, like you're freaking falling apart. You're at your wit's end. So when I thought of that, and I thought about a woman that he was with long distance, I may have talked about this in other videos, for 5 years. And he described that she was crying all the time. And when I think about this now, this is like 25, 30 years ago. That's how he described it. And, but he would say, but all her friends said she was very sensitive and would cry a lot. Excuse me. No, my answer is no. If you're crying all the time when you're with somebody, watch Natalie Clary's. Her slogan is love feels good. It doesn't feel good up and down, and some of the time, or most of the time, it feels good all the time. Okay. And this idea of in sickness and in health means that there is something externally that is infringing on the people's health and sickness. Not that the person is actually a mental case where you've been groomed and then you realize and you have to stick with this person. The answer is no. Okay, we're not designed to endure misery every day of our lives. We are designed to experience abundance, joy, regeneration, and rejuvenation. I talked to another lady coworker, much younger than me. Thank God there's people that are young that figure it out early. I was not one. Like I had mentioned, I went through cancer. Now I'm dealing with like serious fibroid issues. Like my body is just latently, cancer wasn't that latent, but the fibroids were. Okay. But this one lady said that she felt when she was in this relationship with this one particular person, she says, I felt so old. Other people would say that they feel like they're dying. Okay. Not only did I feel like I was dying, what comes before death? The feeling of feeling old, like you're falling apart. So I didn't even have the capacity at the time to sort that out. It just felt like death because it was so extreme that I didn't even know. And it came and I slid right from my awful childhood where when I look back, now that I'm free and in peace, I felt old even as a child then. Okay, this is the disgusting way of evil and people that are under the veil of evil, which is Satan, and they're guided by Satan. They're guided by the dark side. They definitely don't turn towards the light. Okay, these are people that will gravitate towards dark material, whatever it may be, whatever the flavor is, and they will manipulate and use, and you'll feel completely drained and exhausted, which is the opposite of regeneration and rejuvenation. Okay, so there's two different feelings. You're on the bright side, the light side, where there's levity because you feel joy and you feel good. There's regeneration and the feelings of rejuvenation. You wake up and you feel like you're brand new. And then there's the dark side where you feel exhausted all the time. All these negative emotions have consumed you, which makes itself known mostly with tension in the chest, crying, nerves, anxiety. That's how you know the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it like short today, and I hope this helps whoever needs the help.